Hello and welcome back. You've grown a tail, but more importantly, we are just about to see the final between Ramdingler and Sivet to see who is going to be taking the crown of the Yadakk tribe and potentially taking them all the way to the grand finals. It's been a day of contention, I would say. We've gone 2-1 for Ramdingler against Oplex, 2-1 Sivet against MyStamper in a massive upset. 2-1s across the board, frankly. Very, very hard fought games, and I don't think it's going to get any less hard fought with Ramdingler and Sivet. Let's not forget the tribe that these guys are playing for, the Yadakk tribe. Do you want to take me through one final time for today who the Yadakk are? What makes them so different?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just like the road tribe, the road tribe and also the best theme music in the game tribe. But, the way they start off, just connecting all of their cities, moving quickly throughout the game. They're very versatile. Love to see the monuments, the bazaar pops up all the time. Important for all the tribes, but especially for Yadakk. And again, I think we pointed out what they dislike before, but pointing out what they like: discounts, respectful business practices, capitalism. I mean, I think it really tells you everything you need to know about Yadakk.
Well, the thing that they don't like is the Vengir, who, by the way, chaps, at this time next week, we are going to be seeing the Vengir tribe have their competition. So Yadakk today, Kiku last week, Vengir tomorrow and next week, and Vengir could be you. If you want to sign up, chaps, you can do that now. The Vengir qualifiers haven't quite happened yet. So if you want to participate, if you want us to be casting your games, if you want to win the chance of going to Stockholm for a $10,000 grand prize, then why not sign up? There's nothing stopping you. But before we get there, Ramdingler versus Sivet. We talked about it briefly before. You are favoring Ramdingler in this exchange, right?
Yeah, I think Ramdingler's played more tournaments, live games, stuff like that. They're both great players, but I'm expecting more from Ramdingler here. Expecting him to pull through.
Right.
Very close.
Right, and as we've seen, he is willing to go the full hour. It's worth saying, chaps, this is going to be a best of 3, and then 8 of the 12 tribes that will go to the grand final. So there's still one more step for Ramdingler or Sivet if they do manage to see off their opponent this time around. Ramdingler, more aggressive of the two, more experienced perhaps. You said ready to pounce on any mistake. Those were the words you used. I'm not just saying that because you have a cat in your hand. Sivet, though, might not give the opportunity for any mistakes. Very cold, calm, calculating, and frankly knows exactly how the game may turn out in any given situation. So I think we're going to see a close game. I think it's going to be 1-1. And then I think Sivet's going to take it. I'm going 2-1 Sivet. So you think Ramdingler? Okay. I think Sivet. Just based on how they're playing, based on what I've seen, I can't see anything that Sivet's done wrong at all. I can't see anything Ramdingler's done wrong either. But I like being a contrarian. Chaps, it's time to get into the grand finals to decide who will represent the Yadakk tribe and potentially take them all the way to Stockholm. Don't look away for a second. Blink, you might miss it. We start now. Game 1.
I think I agree about that 1-1 part of the prediction. It's been a very topsy-turvy series of games. No road for Sivet in the opening. Okay. This is a common idea for Yadakk in the opening, but it's also one we just haven't seen today.
Do you want to explore that a little bit further? Why is that such a shocking thing that we haven't seen?
Yeah. Normally you love using roads to upgrade, just for the fact that it gets you to your villages faster, and just looking at the stars to population rate, if you're spending 6 stars and you're placing 2 roads down, it gets you population on both your cities. Then another if you're in the initial opening rate, another 3 stars will get you another 2 population. So it's 9 stars in, 4 population out, and it gets you to all your villages faster. So it is slightly more expensive than, say a fruit or org, which is 2 stars per population. It's just excess population, which will be necessary later. Stars you're going to eventually spend. It gets you to your villages faster, everything like that. But in cases like this, where the water is cutting us off the access to the center of the map, we're seeing him skip that because, again, like we laid out with the math, it is a little bit cheaper in getting those initial upgrades, if a little bit slower in his start.
Both players there not getting the explorer they potentially wanted, neither one of them uncovering the all-elusive corner of the map. What they do uncover is their opponent sitting right in front of them, and potentially a point of contention on that village there as well. What do you think? Do you think both sides are going to try and prevent the other from taking that village? Who do you think's in the better position there?
Yeah, I feel like Ramdingler is much closer. And then if you look at how the villages are laid out, this shush village isn't even close enough.
Mate,
for a
you can just
warrior
tell me to be
reach
quiet. You don't need
immediately.
to shush me.
But yeah, Civet's going to need a couple of roads in order to kick Ramdingler off that village. So Ramdingler is forcing him to get riders without even stepping on the village yet.
Interesting. I mean, again, both these players capable of sort of reading a couple of moves ahead of their opponent. Let's see if perhaps one of them misreads here. Ramdingler, quite a fast player, but matched only in speed by Sivet himself.
Yeah, look at
Not
the
sure.
clocks, actually. Civet has like a full minute advantage almost on turn 5.
With these two, we may actually need another digit in front of what we've got here. The speed they play, the timer may not exist for either one of them, functionally speaking.
Ramdingler slips into a bit of a thing, deciding, hey, can I step on this village? And he goes, yes, I can. I just need to get riders myself. And it seems like I think his intuition was spot on right here. Like, Civet's going to need to buy 2 roads that are, inconveniently placed for him to kick Ramdingler off just one turn. It doesn't have the stars anymore to get, rider on top of that. He needs another rider trained on that village up in the north to keep Ram off for another turn. The question of technique, so he has to place the roads north of his village, northwest, attack with the warrior, then the rider, bounce the rider away from the village because he can't leave a unit on there, otherwise Ram gets it. But there's nowhere that's good for him to bounce back. And also, it would allow Ram to use his own rider, bounce on top of the village. So there's no real good way for Civet to take this village, or try to even stop Ramdingler from taking it. Now that he's picked up the rider.
I like to think that was you were just narrating Civet's inner thoughts, inner monologue there. It's exactly bit by bit what's going to happen. If he does this, I do that. If he does this, I do that.
The only difference is that Civet figured that out in like 5 seconds.
Fair enough. So you're saying that Civet, who is taking extraordinary amount of time for what we just said, to think. I mean, you were saying previously, think on your opponent's time. But the debate has to be surrounding this village, right? Surrounding whether or not he's seeing something that you haven't laid out here and decides instead to go the other way and not contest the village there, which will be surrendered to Ramdingler next turn. You have to imagine this does put the momentum in Ramdingler's favor, and he's a player that does deal well with momentum. Very momentum-based, in fact. So, let's see.
Ramdingler starts off with a star ruin, so perfect. Not ask for better if you Ram. Civet's trying to reorganize his... so moving from pushing towards the center, trying to contest new idea, he's going to go ahead and work towards this village in the south, expand down there. That's a wonderful explorer from Ram, too. Normally, you might be a little upset about your explorers heading backwards, but not if it, gets you on your Grand Bazaar, if he's able to road up to these 2 villages early on. And Ram reorienting his rider, which was initially defensive, and allowed him to push towards the center, and moving it down south, trying to keep his opponent off the village down there, for just like 3 roads down. Yeah, Civet can try to step on here, but big mistake. Ramdingler sees that, and it will be able to kick off this rider. And now Civet's going to be stuck on these 3 villages while Ramdingler goes ahead.
That's what you were saying. Ramdingler will punish mistakes. Civet doesn't necessarily make one, but we've highlighted one here. Let's see, does Ramdingler exploit that mistake that you pointed out? You have to expect him to, right?
Yeah, this is also a classic of live Polytopia. In correspondence formats, it doesn't really matter what order you do your turn in. In live,
there are the roads.
Sometimes it's common that you'll see a player save a devastating thing like this for the very end of the turn.
There we go.
But yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yep,
What an early game that was. Ramdingler 1-0. Like we said, Ramdingler will punish mistakes. Absolutely will punish them. Will sivet make them? He clearly did right there. A very quick, I mean, how long was that? 6 minutes? 5-6 minutes? Very early. I mean, look, sivet, a calculated player that can see that far in advance, but talk me through your take on the game.
I think sivet just didn't have the vision on Ramdingler. He didn't. It was a gamble. Like, if Ramdingler sees that I'm on here, he can punish me. Well, there's a chance he can punish me because sivet doesn't even know where all Ramdingler's units are. If he doesn't, this is my only way to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's an all or nothing play that he made, and it just didn't work out for him.
Happens. But honestly, I think that has to be it, because otherwise you're looking at a situation where you're slowly going to be whittled away. You're looking at this slow attrition, and yeah, you might be able to hold him off for the hour. But then you lose at the end of that hour. Sometimes, and this is my personal opinion, it's better to go for the all or nothing in the earlier games. You know? It's not like if he loses here, it's over, right? So you go for the all or nothing. Try, nope, didn't work. Well, I was just going to grind out a loss here. Fresh start, now we go again. I think that's the play, personally, especially a player like we've seen sivet playing. He's perfectly capable of doing that. And I we'll see if Ramdingler can make it 2-0. But what a quick game to start with, huh?
Yeah, I mean, really, it was just how did sivet get to that position to begin with? And it was a question of his choice of riding and trying to contest the center, which didn't end up working out. He didn't have to investigate too long to figure it out earlier. He did bite into Ramdingler's time bank a little bit there. So they were throwing some blows, you know, mentally and such, but not really with the Polytopia units on the board.
Again, it's interesting that at this high level, you can kind of go, right, I'm going all or nothing. Didn't work out. That's the game. There's no recovering from this. And again, some people criticize that sort of thing. Oh, no, play it out to its full. But you're really underestimating. If you've never played any sort of like competitive e-sport, especially in front of a live crowd, especially with the stakes very high, sometimes it is better to go right, mental reset. And we'll see now what his mental state is going into this game that he has to win. Ramdingler has one to burn. Maybe he sits back a little bit, plays around. But any second now, we're going to get straight back in. I mean, Ramdingler want to know, your bet is feeling a little bit safer. And if you can win the next one, he's one step closer to the grand finals in Stockholm, which, by the way, you can purchase your tickets for right now. Would highly recommend. I was a host last time. I know was a caster. We had several community members, people who tried to qualify, didn't end up turning up anyway. And I can guarantee you, it's if you're interested in Polytopia, it's a lot of fun. I would highly recommend. Everyone there, incredibly lovely. Let's see if this is going to be a lovely game for either Ramdingler or sivet here as we begin what could be the deciding match for the Yadakk tribe. It could also be just one more step along the journey of one of these players. Take it away.
Yeah, and sivet going again, pushing away from the center of the map. He's finding where the most resources are. This is, I guess, something that's still in contention about Yadakk openings. Feels like there are some players who would have absolutely pushed solely to the north in that kind of start. But sivet rewarded for it with the 2 villages he finds early on, able to connect those up and, you know, get this lighthouse to start upgrading as well. I think he's going to launch an explorer from his capital here in workshop. Okay. So no explorers yet. Does not feel that he has, you know, vision on his opponent after that, and like the, you know, triple upgrade shenanigans that we saw Meister pull in the other game. And then additionally, just the fact that Ram's score was under the 1,000 point threshold probably motivated sivet to avoid the explorer for another turn. Under 1,000 points of score, Ram's only going to trade him 3 stars when they meet, versus now Ram will trade 5 stars. But really, it's an if they meet, because look at where the water is. This explorer does not, it's not guaranteed. You might see a lot of workshops from sivet, and not much in the way of workshops. Sorry, explorers.
Oh, no, you've misspoke. Sorry, that's it. You're off. By the way, just wanted to point out, 81% of the YouTube live audience thinks that Ramdingler will be the next Yadakk champion. We'll see if those odds change, because obviously they are on a 10-minute delay. Everyone in chat, hello. I'm recognizing you and reading your chats right now. For example, hello, Mythic. I see you there. Now, what do you think of the starts? Who would you rather be in this situation?
It's interesting. We don't really see enough of the map, and the advantages that we have for Ramdingler are still pretty abstract. I'm just saying abstract for the fact that we don't know what's in those ruins. It's a gamble. If the ruins are really good, then hey, maybe I like Ramdingler's position. If the ruins are really bad, hey, maybe I like Sivet's position. So until we see those ruins play out, it's difficult to say. I do like the density that we're seeing on Sivet's side, just like the pure number of villages that he's playing with over here. You might have a very early bazaar. It's difficult for Ram just with how far away that Oracle village is. Like, get everything linked up really early on. But again, the ruins could change everything, so have to see how those play out.
Alright, see what Sivet does here on his turn. This is going to be a very cagey one. You know that, right?
Oh,
Look at
absolutely.
just the expanse of water in front.
They're like the water ripping through like a knife.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Farming right away. Okay.
Interesting.
This is enough population on his capital to get a giant with just the farms. 2 veteran swordsmen. Now I've seen, you know, in games previous, especially that first Meister Sivet game, how the swordsmen were very instrumental in, you know, getting the advantage going. But here, where the players are so separated, traditionally, swordsman not the best ruin result to get. You'd love to see some stars, but
2 of them is crazy, by the way.
Yeah. I'm also going to go ahead and say that it is not the worst ruin result possible. What I'm seeing for Ramdingler is...
sorry.
Oh, shoot. Something worse. Some tech that he's not going to use. The climbing and meditation, maybe. No, the benefit I see in the swordsman is just that I'm looking at maybe... There's potentially 4 villages that Ramdingler's units are trying to get. And just having more units on the board immediately to go and grab all of them... I think Ramdingler can benefit from that a ton. So on the west end, Ramdingler's Explorer meets, and he's going to get 7 whole stars. And yeah, there's the first veteran swordsman moving into his opponent's territory. His opponent's
now,
side
how
of
would
the
he
map
have
with a
known that
bridge.
village was there, just for people at home?
So the village, no guarantee on knowing the... You can see at the edge where all of the land tiles connect with any of the water tiles, there's a little bit of lighter blue. Those are the shorelines, so even through the fog you can see sometimes a little lighter shade of blue, and you can tell that on the other side of that fog is a land tile. You can go ahead and place your bridge there. Once he's placed the bridge there, you can see the little road stemming out from it, so... evaluate if there's a village creating that or some other road. But yeah, Ram in a little bit of a think. He's got 4 stars, so it's a question of, do I train some units? Do I save for maybe rioters or into fishing? Do I just buy a road and step on here? Yeah. And he's just gonna go step on there, and it's perfectly safe too. A little isolated island village.
I mean, Sivet with 6 cities to Ramdingler's 3. There we go. Does meet his opponent. Does see another city, another village there as well. Oh, that's a lovely explorer. My God.
Yeah. Getting all the important vision.
All right, let's see.
Taking a little break.
I think he's surely Sivet has to invest heavy into the C game here. All right, more vision. Does he get that corner? Does. On the last one. Well, not quite the last one, but damn, close enough. So he has to assume that there's a village there, right? Like, he has to know. If he's seen the bridge, if he's seen that there's a land there, if he's seen that there's a veteran swordsman nearby, he has to assume there's something of interest there. Well, he'll find out next turn. But...
There's a mathematical proof of a village being there, just in where you can see the resources. Because we talked about this a little earlier, a little flash, but the resources are spawned in by the villages themselves after, just how the map generation works. I have gone for Civet, and that's going to be the last population he needs on his giant. He got his Grand Bazaar as well, so he's sitting on 3 monuments right now.
Wow. That's a great start. Now, I don't... Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Geographically, it would look to me like there's a slight advantage for Ram... Well, not really anymore. But those are some good monuments he'll have now to chuck down. I don't know, those explorers did their work and then some, eh?
Yeah, I mean, so it's a very asymmetrical position.
Yes.
They both have really good things going for them, but it's just different. Like what Civet has going for him is like he's got all these high-level cities. He's planning on getting like 3 giants on the next couple of turns. Like he can't buy them now, but he's going to get a giant on that Kian city next turn and this Old Shark city as well. I think like 4 giants even possible. Ramdingler is a little slower on his expansion,
but here come the cities.
He's going to have more cities. Yeah, no water, so this mountain is going to block him from seeing most of what's going on with Civet, but it does get him that East Lighthouse.
And suddenly takes an advantage of cities, and next turn as well. Well, next turn, sorry, he'll take the advantage of cities. Maybe a better place to take that one down there as well in the far east, but can he protect it? Again, it's decentralized versus centralized, I think, gameplay going to be happening here ahead of us.
Yeah, I mean, the math of more is more does work for Ramdingler in a map like this, where they're so spread out across the water. It's like difficult to launch an attack, but I don't know, Civet's attack is huge, and the little river they have going between them is not so massive to keep Ramdingler insulated and defended forever. The villages are all low level, pretty weak. His income isn't that great. Very difficult to see how he defends. But if he can defend, he does have something to play for.
Well, we have seen him defend before, and this might be a map where that kind of staunch defense that we saw in his first game may be exactly what he needs here. However,
absolutely.
How many giants is that now?
We're at 3 giants for Civet on turn 9. And we have more arriving.
And he can't.
What, 1 million more on the way, we said?
That was it. Right, there we go. Another city going to come soon. And then, well, I'll have to see from there.
Yeah.
That's just such a big income difference.
Yeah, like Ram is able to improve his position, but like he needs time to do it, really. He needs time to upgrade his cities first, and then after
he doesn't know about the precarious position he's in, to be clear. He doesn't have the vision to see what is happening on the other side of that river. He doesn't know how sort of fast he needs to push. He might find out now.
And he sees the giants, and he's like, woo. Really hoping, there he goes. Gets his Eye of God. It's another monument for him. He uses it immediately. And on the right city, he's probably planning a defense there that involves a giant push. So there, Ram gets his own first giant on turn 9. He has another monument to use. That should be, right in the middle. To get border growth or population growth. So probably seeing fish and port into a giant there in the center of the map soon. That's his defense there, but now the question is, how is he defending this southwest city where the 2 juggernauts are coming in? The veteran swordsman is a pretty decent defense initially, but he might lose that city pretty quickly. And the bigger problem for him is, even after the initial defense is over, how is he going to play without any access to the water if he's just getting kind of trounced there?
These are all good questions that I don't have an answer for, but maybe Ramdingler does. He's sure enough taken his sweet time to decide what he's going to do next. He perhaps knows the importance of these very, very next turns. Just, like you say, he's going to have a city advantage. Well, he's going to have a city advantage temporarily, because surely Civet then takes that city over in the west.
Yeah, I think there's might be a little west-east exchange. Ramdingler's not even trying to fight him on that city over there.
No.
He has way too many points that he needs to defend. It's difficult to, find the life in this position, but, gotta give points to Ramdingler. He is very obviously trying.
And the income's looking good. Let's see now what sivet does. Does he go early? Does push his units to the board. You can see he had that queued up in the meantime. Remember, time that Ramdingler was spent thinking, sivet had that same amount of time, had his moves queued up, and now it's the water that is sivet's to control. And his position to lose, really, when it comes to at least the immediate future of this lake river thing. I guess technically it's a lake, but it looks more like a river to me.
Yeah, got the juggernauts lined up, all ready to like. I don't know. I'm kind of scared to say what they're going to do to Ramdingler, but they might Ramdingle him.
Yeah, I've seen people use that verb a lot. It's confusing and scares me. All right, let's see. He also again can't see, doesn't have the vision of where those juggernauts are. So he's going to have to sort of make some moves in blindly, really. And we saw how costly that was for sivet last turn, or last game, I should say.
I think we're definitely seeing roads to the East Village, giant in the center. But then question of what do you even do in a position like this? Like, you need to keep your villages alive, first priority. But then the second priority of actually, winning the game, or like getting anything. Like, how do you continue to keep, like, breathe life into your villages, continue defending them? Especially against, I mean, you get the giants initially. This is a good start for Ramdingler. But that western city, like, as soon as that veteran swordsman's gone, and they're pushing the juggernauts into you, like, yeah, you put all your monuments that you're really going to get down already, so there's not population for like even a wall there, unless you're gonna spend like 16 stars for 2 ports fished. And then once you get the wall, what does that even defend?
Again, it's like we're saying, we've got to see something here. Okay, right, does in fact go for that village. He has to push, I know it seems counterintuitive because he's probably in the weaker of the two places, but he has to make a play because to do nothing is to invite a slow attritional death here. He doesn't know exactly what he's up against, which also is a little bit tricky, but he'll figure out soon enough, as you can see the difference in time left on the clock, really representing how much or how different these positions are. Sivet with a consolidated position, it's very obvious what his next moves are. Ramdingler, not quite in the same position.
Yeah, and you can tell like Sivet is tough opposition. Like, you don't want to fight him if you're aiming to win, that is. Great player, love to interesting, make you think, make you sweat. But
yeah, there comes the push.
There we go, going after the veteran swordsman. A lot of damage there. Does he finish it off with sailing or something? Turn that into a scout.
Yep, he does.
Yeah.
How many is that? 4 juggernauts in the water?
4 juggernauts.
A scout, a couple warriors.
Yeah, and he's going after the giant instead of the swordsman. Yeah, so it looks like there's a simple tactic he's setting up in the west. He's asking Ram, how are you going to defend? I'm going to push my juggernauts down here over in the west, and then I'm going to siege your city. Your giants are all going to be out of range. You should resign. I'm going to also steal your city in the east. Like, everything's going to collapse. Ram's got a ruin, and it's a star ruin. It's a great start, starting with 47 stars per turn. Farming, he's got 4 farms, like 5 with this city he's capturing in the east, across all his cities. More cities than farms. Still picks up farming. What's the plan, Ram? Thinking about buying another tech before capturing the city over in the east, it looks like.
Well, I mean,
Otherwise, that
how
would
do
be
you
a pretty
counter someone who's
automatic.
spending what 50% of their star GDP on the military? You know, see what he can do.
Another explorer.
Explorer, yeah, he's started to see the danger he's in. I think.
That might even be like a desperado explorer. Like I'm not giving you the extra 1 star per turn, or the vision.
I
I'll
think he just wanted
upgrade
to
because
see
I
what he's
think
up
I'm gonna
against.
lose it.
I think he's
Yeah.
thinking about it. I think he's really thinking, how do I possibly counter this?
I mean, Ram's tenacious, and there's no real reason to resign here, but it is feeling like we're getting closer. Like, how does Ram come back from this?
Well, I think the difference between Ram's first game and this one is that Civet will push. You know, we saw that first game. There was a very I mean, a good position was taken, a good position was not pushed. Whereas Civet, you can very clearly see, got himself established and went, right, now I need to go forwards. So I think Civet will force the action either way. Ram held on to that first game because he could. There was a chance. He got the archers, he got the riders, and started to maybe poke a couple of holes in. They did end up losing on a judge's decision, but that obviously is not everything. And he gets another giant and is potentially now thinking about, well, not thinking about, is going to be planning his defense. But again, there it is, the time. Whereas
Like,
it starts to stack, doesn't it? The longer that he spends, like, the less time he has, the more time Civet has for doing thinking on Ramdingler's time, because then he can go immediately, action, and then Ram's back on his turn once again, and doesn't only have to react to what's just happened, has to come up with a plan on the fly, whereas Civet enacting a plan and thinking on Ramdingler's time. It is starting to snowball a bit here.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised that Civet didn't go for the siege over on that Armork city. If he had the ability with his this juggernaut that he just moved west for the splash damage to go ahead and pick up that siege, but I guess
It's ramming.
he got
Maybe he's
ramming.
concerned about that giant coming in from behind.
Yeah, he's got another 2 like scouts or rammers he can make, some combination of them, and the rest of his units to move. So I am wondering how the rest of his turn is going to plan out, because I didn't expect it to start the way it did. But I think it looks like his main goal, or like what he's trying to accomplish right now, is pressure around the center. You know, again, very common idea, kill off all the supports. And yeah, he doesn't need to get his juggernaut out of the water with the rammer, since he can siege like this. And you might notice there are not enough units around to unsiege, or you might think, but Ramdingler just puts a port east of the city and gets juggernaut splash damage. With that and the warrior where it is, Ramdingler will unsiege this warrior, or at least he has the ability to, as well as picking up a huge amount of splash damage on the rafts and scout. Juggernaut in the east is not faring well against the juggernauts there. The central city is feeling very vulnerable to a siege. Yeah, I guess what Civet's doing is asking, do you want your central city lost, or this one pathetic city over the southwest lost? Because if Ramdingler does go for the play I outlined with the Juggernaut Splash in the port, I mean, one, that's a hefty chunk of stars, 7 there, on getting the port set up at all, but then also he's not using his giant to defend his central city. The question, of course, is how would he then? Probably doesn't. Probably doesn't without the giant there. Probably doesn't defend the east city either. It seems like if there are 3 points of attack, those 3 cities, he's losing all of them right now.
Yeah, again, we've seen that he will sort of sit and defend to his last breath. You have to think that last gasp is, whilst he can stall it, will it ever stop?
Yeah,
and again, it's the 40 seconds left. He's not playing his usual fast game. It's not like he's rattled per se, but there are no good options. He does retreat from the city.
Yeah, he's got to give up the city in the southwest, and he has to prevent a siege right now. If he doesn't prevent a siege right now, he loses that central city too. Yeah, this is difficult. I think after he loses this most central city was probably where, when that happens, I'm expecting a resignation. But until that happens, like he'll lose the southwest city, he'll lose the east city. Does not matter, not until the central city is gone.
But look at, I mean, the waterways are blocked really with the sheer quantity of troops here. And you have to think he's setting up for that next attack.
Yeah, I mean, like, on Civet's side, he has both sailing and ramming. So these, juggernaut inroads that, you've seen, like, Meister use earlier. Just not as effective here. Feels like, yeah, the rammer's taking out the juggernaut again. And then just sacrificing his rammers into this giant. Yeah, Civet recognizes what his win condition is. I take out this city and you resign, right?
Well, we'll see again. Ram is not really one. We haven't seen him resign yet, have we?
No. I mean, usually he wins, so like we don't see him play slowly, but now we don't see him resign. But there
it is.
You're just getting, a different side of Ram when he's put up against this kind of resistance from Civet.
It does feel like we're going to be going into game 3 unless Ram can do something. It's just a case of, well, there's something to be said again of fighting a losing battle to its last breath, but it's the mentality. Let's see what he does here.
Yeah.
To try and counter.
I mean, you can't give up going into the final game of the final set of like everything.
There's always something that can happen.
Like you're giving up on yourself at that point. Like, Ram's fighting, like, he's still fighting this match right now. Like, he has to believe in himself throughout this entire game, so that way he gets to game 3, like, still with that confidence. Like, yeah, I'm going to play better than you. You're going to make more mistakes that I can capitalize on. I believe that. You don't believe in yourself, who's going to?
You, apparently. You believe in Ramdingler here and that.
Well, do I believe in that he's going to win this game?
You never know.
The match, I think it's the attitude, There's a healthy amount of self-delusion in these kinds of things. You can tell yourself and really believe something. It doesn't have to be true, but it might motivate you to the ends that you're trying to reach anyways. Yeah, Ramdingler has a crazy 50 stars right now, and I wonder where he wants to spend all of those.
I'm wondering as well, because he has more stars than he has seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and Civet is, there's an alternative win condition where if you bank 10 minutes of all the increments, you can actually win like that. It looks like Civet's going for that right now, getting closer than anyone has today, I think.
Clarify. Say that again?
Should clarify, there is no 10-minute win condition.
Right.
Civet's playing as if there is, though. Like there's no tomorrow.
Well, again, he knows what he needs to do. It's pretty standard to him, at least, what his next steps are. Take out the units, keep pushing forwards, keep extending the difference. There we go. I mean, that city is not going to be in the best place, I think. It's that central one. There we go.
A big giant siege. I
can't see him taking anything out of that.
No. Soon as I imagine that the central city falls and Ram's able to resign, but who knows? We haven't seen him resign yet, so
no, we have not.
He's tenacious. He's determined.
10 units slain for Civet there. Oof.
Oh, just gets his killer monument now.
God, that'll be another one as well soon. Yeah, I think he's gonna go for it. Boom, 12, giant gone. Really putting the screws in it, because me personally, if I'm Civet, I want this game to go as long as possible. I know I've won. I'm enjoying my victory lap. You see, this is the thing again when we talk about mentality versus mentality beyond just skill of the game, right? Doing a victory tour and dancing on your opponent's grave is a fantastic way to enter into game 3. It really is. And the longer that goes on, the better it is for you. We saw sivet resign in the first game, sort of very, very quickly once the position was untenable. And we're not seeing that from Ram this game. And now we're starting to see what that means in terms of sivet and what sivet can do. Really put the screws to him. On the flip side, Ram is going to make him bleed for every little sort of scrap of the city he can take. There you go, defense siege.
Yeah, but now I'm looking at the middle one where he has one warrior in range against the 37 health giant.
Listen.
I'm listening.
Have you ever heard of Samson or Achilles? These great individual warriors, you know? I mean, David and Goliath, you know? The history is full of times where the smaller guy or the singular soldier can do wonderful things. Now, I'm convinced if that warrior attacks that 37 health giant, he wins. I have nothing to prove that, but I'm going to manifest it. Watch, just you watch.
So ridiculous here is how close Ram got to actually giant pushing there. He's one population short. After the border growth on this city, he opened up a couple new forests to burn. So that's no, there's the population with the hunting. There's an animal north of the city. I didn't see it. There we go. What he's short of though is stars.
There it is. Ramdingler with a resignation. Ladies and gentlemen, not a single sweep for us today. We will, in fact, be going all the way. Game 3 after game 3 after game 3. And the final will be decided by a single game left. Wow, what a series. Yadakk Tribe really pulling out all the stops for us here today as a spectator sport. What's your take on that game?
That game was interesting. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say interesting. Sivet just played it beautifully, really. Like, this is the Sivet's victory. And I'm going to contrast it with the very start of the series, like the beginning of everything today, with Ramdingler versus Oplex. When we get to that game and we see, you know, Ramdingler, like, you know, he's going to lose the game eventually, one way or another. But, like, you know, while he's playing, he's tenacious, he's, like, fighting, he's like, yeah, I can see how you're going to play this, I'm going to invert my advantage, I'm going to see the mistakes you make. And he's trying to, like, you know, prod sivet and, like, see what are the mistakes that sivet's going to make that I can, like, take advantage of in the next game. Yep. And sivet says, no, I'm just going to do a clean conversion and, like, absolutely destroy you.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a very scary place to be going into the third game.
He was able to show off that, hey, when this guy thinks he's going to win, he wins. And this is what I'm saying. It's a fantastic way to play. And also, to be honest, shows the difference between... not to rag on anyone, but the difference in quality of opposition. Ram was able to hold a very weak position in that game 1, in his semi-final, and was able to hold it for an hour to force a judge's decision. In this game, nothing from sivet suggested that he would be able to hold it. But now, chaps, we are going to be going into very, very soon the final game of the day: Ramdingler versus sivet. You took Ramdingler, I took sivet. We both said it was going to be 1-1. I think we both get props, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I mean, what's going to happen if, do we stake anything on, like, who wins this now?
Oh,
like,
we're betting? What do you want to bet?
I mean, are we?
What have you got to bet? I mean, to be honest, I do have this very fetching Polytopia hat that you can get right now in terms of merch. I'm just... You know, what price can you put on priceless?
I don't have my Polytopia beanie on hand. You're making me very jealous right now, Leif.
That means because I mean, look, if you don't have anything like this, you need to go to the Polytopia store, maybe pick something up, or we might have something of equivalent exchange to value. But if you want to prove yourself in this entire tournament, perhaps you have a favorite tribe that has not turned up in qualifiers yet, then if you haven't seen it, you're more than welcome to turn up. Download the game if you haven't. Maybe you're a prodigy. Maybe you're a savant. Who knows? But you yourself can get involved in this. If you think maybe actually here was how Ramdingler could have won, he should have done this and this and this, then you can do it. Next week, we have the Vengir Tribe qualifiers, and the qualification process is open right now. So we could be commentating over your game, betting on your game and maybe even meeting you in person in the grand finals all the way in Stockholm. And of course, if you haven't already, go and pick up a ticket if you don't intend to compete. It's just a fantastic event. Again, look what I got out of it. Look what I got out of it. What a fantastic event. I mean, what did you think of the event in Stockholm?
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
I was shocked by. I'm like, Sweden's so far up, right? It was like 20 degrees warmer than where I was from, and I'm like, wow, this is wonderful weather. Snowing not every
And we went ice skating as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fun things you could do. Again, they really pull out all the stops. It was a fantastic vibe. Great way to meet other members of the community. We had smoke machines, which was cool. I mean, there was so much. In terms of presentation, a full light show. I didn't hear a single person in the after party not gush about how fantastic it was. So there is that. Now, 1-1. Who do you think takes it? Are you still sticking with Ramdingler?
See, it was very close before, and like, look how the momentum swung, right? Like, I'm just thinking about the mental thing, and like Sivet, he's cold, calm, and calculated, but Ramdingler's like, passionate like that.
Yeah.
Plays on intuition, and like, crushing the opposition and everything. And like, it's just like his bag of tricks isn't working anymore. So like, if it was like, 45-55 split, maybe it's flipped the other way.
Oh,
like, he's gonna be very, very close.
You're abandoning your Ramdingler position.
Ramdingler.
You're still saying Ramdingler. I'm sticking with Sivet. Yeah. I really think he's going to be the man to go all the way. Now, in terms of the rankings, you did say the Yadakk tribe was your favorite just because we're covering it, but pulling that aside a little bit.
Who do I think is going to win? Ooh.
Tribe, just tribe. Real quick, just give me a name. No explanation.
Hoodrick.
Okay. All right. See, now if Hoodrick ends up winning, you realize you're gonna investigate it for fraud, right?
I mean, me?
Okay, this is gonna be cool. I'm gonna take my hat off because this is gonna be shown in court for absolute fraud. Yeah, you've influenced the betting lines, the betting lines already. Well, what do you think of the Wenger tribe, which we're gonna see next week? How do you rate them in terms of Yadakk? Compare it direct, 1-1. What's your preference?
There's a lot of different ways I could prefer them. Like, I do like the Wenger skin way more. The aesthetics, the skulls, very cool. But in terms of like, Polytopia, tribe to tribe, who is going to win a game against the other one? I mean, I see more versatility in Yadakk. Wenger has like a lot of stuff going for them. Like, they can have, fantastic games, but few and far between. Wenger is interesting in that, they're disliked by every other tribe in the game. Like last year at the face-offs, they were the only tribe to go 0-2 against every other tribe they were put in competition with.
Do you think that's going to impact the players? They're just like, everyone hates me. So what you need is like a villain to come out of that, I think that'd be great. Someone just embraces the antagonist. Yeah,
I'm imagining if Wenger makes the top 8, let's just say it happens. Wenger, flies out with their tribe representative to the finals. They have the days like getting ready for the tournament and everything. Yeah. They're going to be eating lunch alone. They're not going to be playing ping pong with anyone. They're going to be having the board like half up, like playing against the wall. They're going to be like, hey guys, anyone want to play a practice game? Everyone's going to say, yeah, someone else, not you.
Yeah, I'd love to. Why? Why are you asking? Just for a bullying this poor guy who's just representing.
Not poor. They chose this.
That's fair. You're right. You're absolutely right. I apologize. You are correct. You are absolutely correct. Now, one thing I also want to say is that both Sivet and Ramdingler, no matter who wins, the other one can still try and qualify. In the previous week, in the kicker qualifiers, we had Big Dictator Bossman, who made it all the way to the final, who got knocked out of the quarterfinal in this qualifier. So you might start to see certain names. Le Liberateur is another one that made it all the way to the grand finals, who got knocked out in the quarterfinals last week. Viking, the cat, I believe his name is, that's another person that was tipped as a very, very good player, knocked out in quarterfinals, that we may see going forwards, in these other ones. So there's a lot of tribes left to get through. There's a lot of fun Sundays for us to have. So you might start to see similar names. Because I know that people were disappointed that Ramdingler didn't participate, or didn't make it, I suppose, all the way to the finals last time. It's worth also mentioning that He pulled out last week. He was in the quarterfinals. He went all the way and went, actually, wait, what if I go all the way as Kiku? I don't want to play as the Kiku tribe. Pulls out, goes as Yadakk. So it's sort of as simple as that. If you had to enter the tournament, which tribe, off the top of your head, are you diving into?
I mean, if I just said Hoodrick, like, how could I answer anything else right now?
Because, it's sometimes you got to do things for the love of the game, the heart.
Imperious.
Imperious, there you go. A very strong tribe, given that Arthur, of course, won the championship. We crowned him King Arthur. There we go. But there is only going to be one king, one tribal chief of the Yadakk tribe. Ramdingler or sivet. Only one of these players can represent the Yadakk tribe, and it begins now. Right, what do you think of these starts?
Wow, okay, so Ramdingler is hosting, gets that first mover going for him, and he looks like he has villages everywhere. It's just that the direction his road is pointed, straight opposite the center of the map. You love having this number of villages, this number of resources around. I mean, it looks like there has to be a village over in the west too, but it might be a little difficult. We might see a lot of the same ideas as last game, where Sivet had the opening that included getting the lighthouse really early on down south. Ramdingler was able to get an early workshop with the lighthouse up there, as he also grabs that village and picks up into another workshop. So very economic start. Like, look at the difference in their economies already. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, Sivet should be able to close that gap a little bit. Yeah, they're both cut off by a lot of water, and Sivet looks like he has more access to creating ports. I think we might be in for a longer game too here, where we've got some water battles going on into the late game.
I'll have to see if the previous one. Oh, sorry. More importantly. Oh, bounced back by a wayward, misfortunate mountain. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Kind of risked some on that too with not getting the upgrade on his capital beforehand. It's going to cost him a star.
And it is those early stars that do honestly really do matter, sort of setting you up in the long term. A singular explorer that goes awry can be the difference at this level between life and death, quite literally. So we'll have to see now, maybe a different story to be written by Ramdingler. Will he be the Ramdingler or the Ramdingli?
I thought it was Ramdingold.
Ramdingold.
Straight into fishing. Okay, I'm assuming, road and to fish? Whoa, okay, he's gambling that he's going to pick up that west lighthouse. I mean, with fishing, he should be around the mountain.
He does get it.
There you go. Wonderful. Yeah, just a star short of any more level 3 upgrades, but maybe he could get a warrior here. Looking at a very great start. This is the same kind of, giant, like 6x6 square, perfect density for Ramdingler's villages. Connect with a very easy 4 roads, like very cheaply, get all that population. And look at just the number of fruits and fish that he has around his capital. Doesn't even need a port, doesn't need another lighthouse. He can get straight to a giant with that. Would be on turn 6. Absolutely
very
ridiculous.
Fast. But again, it is this massive amount of water would be the deciding factor. Also, if the chat could like stop referring to it as Explorer Mogged, I'd be very appreciative.
Me too.
he got Explorer Mogged, bro.
I mean, chat, if you insist.
If you insist. Oh, man.
Right, okay. So a climbing ruin for Ramdingler. He's just going to go ahead and road over to that eastern ruin now, I guess.
There you go. One into the other.
16 stars to get a giant on his capital, and he has 17 stars, so... actually, I can't count. It's 12 stars on his capital. Don't tell anyone. I didn't pass math. For kindergarten math, that is.
Everyone keep it secret.
Thank
By
you.
the way, the votes have extended Ramdingler's lead. 81% going to the final game. Believe that it's going to be a Ramdingling victory today.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and use a port to get this upgrade too. Go ahead. pick up some 5-star upgrade with that monument? Yeah, another 5 stars back. Does he just go for a road and a warrior at this point? The road gets him to that west village. Another, okay, perfect. Population ruin. This is going to put Civet right back into the game with his own counter giant. It is going to be a little slower than Ram's, but going to be a little cheaper as well. Just another couple turns. I wonder how he wants to do it. With the lighthouse and 2 fruits, seems very likely to just get the lighthouse and the fruit next turn. No need to wait on getting those road connections set up. Yeah, Ram is first on the water, and once he gets that village far in the west, I assume he's going to go ahead and place a road down, skip this initial village, so that he can go for the further one. Yep, perfect. So he grabs both of those villages, and that will be his Grand Bazaar. Probably a couple of explorers as well. He's got fishing already. I think Ram's main goals are to get sailing and just get himself better established on the water. One of his problems is, look at the number of ports he can make. Only 2. I mean, Civet only has 1 city with water access right now, but that's already 4 ports. If Civet's able to just get twice as many units going in the water as Ram is, that could be big problems for him.
Well, both players getting fishing here. Like we say, it's going to be a water-based fight, this one. It's whoever can get hold of the water, it's whoever can dominate it, and most importantly, prevent their opponent from doing anything else with it. Let's see. Turn 7 giant here.
Yeah, so Civet is a little bit slower on getting his giant, of course, and some of his villages, but he does have better access to the water immediately. It's a question of, that's going to be like something that pays off late game, or it doesn't pay off, so have to see what the players make of that. He's got 6 stars, and I wonder if he just wants to get a couple of warriors right now. He's probably calculating if he can afford those warriors. He would love to get more warriors into more ports. But with these 2 cities he's about to capture next turn, he needs to buy some technologies as well. Something like sailing, maybe. He's without his beloved farming, too, it looks like. I don't think there's a... Has there been a game where Civet hasn't gone farming?
He lacks the key agriculture.
Yeah. So deciding, does he get border growth here? No, population. I'm assuming it's another couple of ports for the giant over on this Kishkol city. But that is maybe not the biggest deal in the world, but he has cut off his access a little bit. If it was a big advantage that he had twice the number of port spots that Ramdingler did, now he only has 1.5 times as many.
I do like the fact that neither one of them can obviously see the other, yet Ramdingler immediately putting a giant straight into the water. You know, there's that aggressive gameplay we were sort of talking about. Maybe was looking at the score and thought he had an advantage, one that has been caught up, but an incredibly similar game. I mean, look at the amount of units, look at the amount of cities, look at the amount of income, the score. It's going to be a close one. We're set up for a great final here.
Absolutely. Does it get that west lighthouse? Yes, it does. It's vision on Ramdingler for some stars. This is the first time they're meeting. On turn 8, he sees, ooh, there's a pretty inland roads. He's picking up 2 cities. It's some funky exploration. Can assume that Ramdingler spawned in the north, seeing what he does. That he can push northeast a little more safely than if Ram had been over there. I'm gonna see Ram, yeah, has to pick up something before capturing 2 cities, and he chooses farming. Or only 4 farms. But I guess that's a giant over in this west city. Is he going to pick up an explorer, or 2 explorers even? He starts off with 1 explorer, and I assume this might be his only one that he gets. Maybe a workshop on the other city, but could also get an explorer. We'll pick up that south lighthouse. So he's just 1 shy of that Eye of God. And yeah, he recognizes that Civet is weak on the water here. Sorry, not on the water, on the land here. So a giant from this city over in the west, send it down on the roads and try to take that miracle city, which is really only defended by the capital. Nothing else is close enough to really affect it. Ramdingler, yeah, doesn't quite have enough stars to get the giant right away. Would need 13 stars, but only has 12 for the giant there. A little unfortunate. But he can go ahead since he's committing himself to getting the giant over there, and pick up population growth for the extra 1 star now. Yeah, how does Ram want to use his Juggernaut? I can't remember if there's any units zone of controlling him and he could potentially siege that open city. Alternatively, just get some splash damage and destroy that raft. You have to be a little worried about the potential of Houdini, especially with knowing that Civet has a population to push a giant on that city on the next turn. He's going to do a little bit of think, and he decides to play it safe.
Interesting from him.
Yeah, so no, there wasn't a possibility of Houdini, but not something you want to risk by any means. Like that's the whole game series, like thrown away if you mess up, especially when you're in a nice position like Ramdingler's in. So we'll see this other Juggernaut or giant from Civet turned into a Juggernaut. Civet wants to grab the villages all in the east and counter Ram's own giant, get his own navy established with getting his own Juggernauts pushing on the water. But Ram just has that initiative in his favor. Ram has something slowing him down from what he'd really like to do is counter these Juggernauts with rammers of his own, something like that. But he needs to do first is, it seems like he's committing himself to the giant over in the west and pushing on land like that, and just getting his cities upgraded, which is the most sensible game plan for sure. The only problem for Ram is that he can't have everything basically, so he's got to settle for what he can't have, which is still a very good game. So grab this ruin in the east and get a nice veteran swordsman, which should help him lock down that village over in the east, as well as that last remaining lighthouse. There'll be a nice Eye of God monument in it for him in, however many cities it takes him to take an explorer on that city. So giant pushing himself towards the ruin and getting ready to attack on land. Civet can defend with a wall or something, but it doesn't seem close to picking up shields. Or even if he could, since he's got Org, wouldn't really want to. What is Ram's decision here?
So what odds would you give sort of either player in terms of their positioning at the moment?
Ram is the one who's up on city count. He's also the one with, you know, in control of like the tempo of the game, like moving into the water before his opponent. But
very smart move, I think, to try and push into the water that early. As when we saw him obviously create Juggernaut, move the giant into the water very, very early. Do you think that's to try and, might seem obvious, but to try and force the action into stopping Civet from taking the water from him? Like again, if you can get your units into the water, knowing you only don't have that many port spots, then going early is probably a better idea, no?
Absolutely. I mean, if it's convenient to you, just like, and you know that you have to go into the water late game, like being the first player in there is always fantastic. I mean, this was the Luxador playbook. You know, playing on small lakes, grab a bunch of lighthouses, use the fact that your capital is upgraded quickly, and you really hope that it's connected to the water because you get that one Juggernaut, and suddenly you're in control of the pace of the whole game. And we're seeing Ramdingler use a very similar idea now. And keeping it out of the water so that he can take this village earlier. It's a bold move, but it just makes a lot of sense. Like, take all the cities you can, like, leave them dry. And wow! Okay, so Ramdingler is under no obligation whatsoever to actually capture this city. I feel like we might see him just spack this Juggernaut, since he's been given the opportunity to.
might as well, right?
Yeah, like he just captures the village on the next turn. It depends on how, you know, secure Ram feels that village is. And, you know, any delay he makes in capturing the city is also a delay in re-entering the water.
He also does have that that vision, whereas obviously on Civet's side of things, he doesn't exactly know what's on the other side. So Civet might be a little bit more cautious if he thinks there's a whole host of scouts there. But there we go, 12 damage to the Juggernaut. I think that's a great play, to be honest.
Yeah.
That may be one of very few mistakes that we've seen Civet make, is sort of allowing that opportunity.
No, I think for sure. I'm not sure what the idea there was. If he thought that Ram would was committed to capturing the village and he could just pick up some easy damage, or if
There we
this was
go.
the only way he saw of gaining some space for himself and that he was willing to sacrifice some health on the Juggernaut. I don't feel it was the strongest trade for him, maybe.
It does allow more time for Ram to get more of his units in the water to try and push that action early. You have to think the pendulum of momentum is swinging in favor of Ramdingler at the moment. It's now on sivet to try and respond to what is very clearly a challenge for the Yadakk leadership.
Yeah, and we're going to see this exchange here, where instead of getting a road in the west, Ram's probably planning to just take 2 roads, push the giant into the village borders over in the west anyways. The big thing is definitely still going to be the water fight. And yeah, seeing that veteran swordsman there, great vision to have. Wow, he still steps on. I can't.
Pushes for it. Nice.
Yeah, so he's stepping on just to protect his scout at this point, from the veteran swordsman. It's the only way to, he has to body block. But it seems like the warrior will go onto the animal tile, where it gets the last lighthouse Ram needs for Hive God. Get an attack and then leave the veteran swordsman on the village there.
This is
So he's
very
trying to
tactical. I like this. This is my favorite game of the
Yeah.
day. It's so fitting that it's the final match of the grand final. But what a great! I mean, you can see the thought process behind each action here, and it's pretty fantastic. 2 juggernauts in the water versus the giant. You think the giant's probably going to take a swing now versus take the city. Nice, as you predicted. Yeah.
A little lower health. We might see
Nice.
and the
Very
scout
nice.
too. Yeah, no better.
Yeah, I mean, Sivet didn't have vision.
Not
You couldn't see that.
protected.
There you go. Veteran swords out
Yeah.
west as well. That's nice.
Using the zone of control over there to keep the giant away from the city for next turn, give him another chance to defend himself.
What does he do with these ships, do you think? Oh, well, there's an
Yes,
answer.
ramming. And with 10 stars, he can get 2 rammers, and he just has to go after these juggernauts.
I mean,
He
that
might want
also,
more warriors.
he lives up to his name,
Wait.
but that giant can just sit on that city very comfortably for now. It doesn't really have too much that can threaten it for too long. I mean, obviously, next turn, we'll see. I mean, here's the thing. That juggernaut's not dead. The 25 one's not dead yet. And he does have, what, 3 more boats in the water that he'll have 23 stars for. We can see maybe he might start to make a play against them.
And using that Eye of God to go ahead and pick up another giant on his capital. 2 juggernauts.
Yeah,
Ready to
Civic can't
replace the
see.
last 2.
Civet can't see. Let's see. He doesn't know the danger he's in. He doesn't know what's coming his way. But we do see Ramdingler now pushing on, frankly, all fronts. Civet withdrawing from Merkel, it looks like. 2 fronts, and both of them seem to be going Ramdingler's way. This is a strong showing from what appears to be, in my opinion, the People's Champion.
Absolutely. People
Bang.
love Ramdingler for good reason. I mean, I've heard he explorer mogged Civet in the last game.
It's true. I saw it with my own eyes. There you go. A couple of scouts here.
Yeah, it's good to get rid of all of those rammers,
Yep.
especially because Ramdingler is just so limited in the number of
think
units he's able to get in his ports. I
he
mean, even
started
the
to see
difference
that.
of just 1 port.
He's 100%
Yeah.
has started to see that. Again, he's moved the giant, so the Juggernaut's moved away from the giant, and now he's got the vision to see that there is a lack of ports available to Ramdingler. He does have a strategic advantage, and frankly, he's chucking 1 unit into that tile every single turn. It's now the capital that's under threat from Ramdingler. Maybe the pendulum swings a different way here. Rammer takes out the Juggernaut. Another Juggernaut. 2 more Juggernauts into the water. Does he take the city?
Civet's making a big attack. Look at just the swing and how many scouts, rafts, everything are in the water. Ram was able to get these 2 juggernauts. The question is are the juggernauts enough to keep him nice and safe? He's established a cushy position if he can get these ports set up in the east with these 2 villages he's capturing. The question though is if. Aquatism too, he's got to defend those juggernauts as much as possible. He recognizes that defense is the only way he's keeping this position.
Yeah.
And a very fast turnover, passing the turn, not getting any time to plan.
His capital is the one that's under threat here. Frammers now going to go and attack those juggernauts, try and expose a chink in the armor, maybe a flaw in the plan. He doesn't know that that's the capital at the end of the day, but he has to make assumptions.
Yeah, he's got 6 stars left, so I'm assuming we're going to see one more rammer and then these scouts trying to pick up as much damage as possible. But it's difficult just with how, look, he's got 2 juggernauts there. The question that you're really asking if you're sitting in this position is, what am I actually sieging his capital with? Especially since he's got that perfect giant square density up there, and just trading some riders to like defend any warrior pushes. You need to get something more going. You need to you keep all the health on this 15 health juggernaut that you can, but it looks like it might just die next turn.
It probably will die next time, but look at every time there's a space, sivet is recognized his advantage. I mean, look, there's a threat in the west that he frankly he doesn't care about that. He's recognized that the water is where he has to be, and every turn the ports are full of the troops at sea. Explorer, okay, wants to see what he potentially has hiding there. The map is revealed to him.
Archery ruin. The defensive around his capital, if anything would happen there, just got
great push.
A little easier.
Fantastic push there. Fantastic push there. Sends them back again now. Momentum back to Ramdingler. This is a fantastic final fight, eh?
They're swinging.
I know. It's
like
one and
two
the other.
champion boxers.
It's crazy. We're seeing Ramdingler on his turn claim pole position. I like defend his city perfectly. Siege down the west. Then it's Sivet's turn. Sivet puts units into the water, takes advantage of his advantages, makes sure he has numerical superiority. But now that might start to come to a close. He cannot defend the west as effectively. And there it is. There it is. The Yadakk champion is Ramdingler. Ramdingler going to the tribal face-off. Ramdingler one step closer to $10,000 live in Stockholm. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our champion. As you predicted, it is Ramdingler. So tell me, did that go how you expected it to?
I mean, it was back and forth. Like, absolutely wild series. Like, I was kind of expecting, something crazy to happen. Like, expecting the unexpected, as it were. Like, I don't know what's going on in these players' minds. Like, they're going to surprise me in some ways. But, like, it was very pleasant kinds of surprises all throughout. Like, just seeing how they think, like, the best of the best in action.
Again, right at the end there, back and forth. There was a moment Ramdingler looked like his capital was a little bit under threat. Manages to put the juggernauts into the water. Sivet responds as best he can. Puts his own troops into the sea. Ramdingler responding with a giant out west as well. 2 juggernauts push forward ramming. Fantastic end. Could not ask for better from both of these players. I mean, Yadakk with Ramdingler. Ramdingler is going to the tribal face-off. We have our 2. We can see the bracket here. We can see the journey that he has taken. 2-0 against Ducks. 2-1 against Oplex with a reverse sweep. And now, Ramdingler, 2-1 against Sivet. If maybe I'm misremembering here, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's another reverse sweep from what can only be described as a mentality giant right in front of us. Absolutely phenomenal work.
I mean, hats off, kudos to Ramdingler. I'm really excited to see how he's going to do at the face-off, of course. And this was, his tribe of choice. Showed up for Kiku and then just decided going to try something else. No more opportunities for that. Locked in with Yadakk now.
There it is.
I have to see the other tribes too.
I mean, we'll have a chat about them in a second. Let's not forget that the Kiku tribe was last week. The Yadakk tribe this week. Next week is going to be the Vengir tribe. We have a lot of qualifiers to go. A lot of great players to watch play. Again, Meisterlampe, our second player to so far fail to qualify despite being in the finals last year. It just goes to show the talent pool is so large. Now, do I think for a second that we're going to see these players give up? No, I mean, Sivet included. They can try and qualify with a different tribe. And again, it just means that we have the cream of the crop. And any second now, we're going to go over the next tribe for next week. One that you said no one liked. So take me through what we could expect from next week in terms of the Vengir.
I mean, the one thing you have to know about the Vengir tribe is that they start off every game with a powerful swordsman. Just having access to this kind of thing early on makes them kind of a menace on like the smaller maps. And we are playing on the second smallest map settings in the game. We've seen it here even with like one of the games with Oplex Ramdingler. How quickly like things can go bad if you're not prepared for this kind of aggression. And in these Vengir qualifiers, Vengir against Vengir, before we get into face-offs or anything, just seeing that kind of early aggression, like low economy, very tactical games, like every movement matters. The difference in where you position a single tile is like difference between life and death. So they're very exciting games to play, very high adrenaline, but it's just difficult. Like watching, like playing, like just like your heart rate's just like elevated. Like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next?
Well, I look forward to casting that next week. But there we have it. We have Livin McLovin for the Kiku tribe. We have Ramdingler for the Yadakk tribe. And maybe it could be you for the Vengir tribe. Again, qualifiers are open. These are open qualifiers. You could be within a shot of leading your tribe to victory and, of course, the grand prize in Stockholm. But that has been a fantastic day of Polytopia action from us. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for the next set of qualifiers. Goodbye.